as long as I am in the world.
I am the light of the world.
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another Jesus Talks live stream. I'm your host, Dari. Today is another beautiful day. I hope everybody's been having a very blessed day today. So I'm very, very excited to talk to you guys today because today we will be recapping the Sacred Heart Conference. So I just attended a conference not that long ago. It's been about 10 days ago that I did a conference. So that was fun. 10 days ago. So it was last week. I flew out to Kentucky to speak. That was a lot of fun. But man, was it a journey? Man, was it something else? Because there's so many things that happened throughout that entire week that my head was like, I felt like I was going crazy. So here's the dealio. So I was supposed to fly out. So the conference was from June the 11th to the 14th. So last week I had plans to travel on June 10th. Now we had a lot of trouble there because the airport that I got to, they ended up delaying my flights. And then they ended up canceling it. And then when they tried to rebook it, it was supposed to be till the next day. So I had a connecting flight from Fort Wayne to Chicago, and I was really bummed out because, like, my sister had driven me to the airport and stuff, and then just to turn out that, hey, my flight got canceled, got rebooked to next week. So that was crazy. But and I was really stressed out because I was like, man, I'm like, what the heck? Because it turns out that I think during that time Chicago was having really bad weather. So I was really bummed out. Um, hello, hi guys. I didn't pray before I started. Uh-oh, I'm a bad Catholic. I should probably pray. In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou amongst women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners now and at the hour of our death. Amen. Saint Michael the Archangel, defend us in battle. Be our protection against the wickedness and snares of the devil. May God rebuke him, we humbly pray. And do thou, Prince of the heavenly host, by the power of God, thrust into hell Satan and all the evil spirits who prowl about the world, seeking the ruin of souls. Amen. In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Sorry, I almost forgot to pray, y'all. Shame on me. Sorry. But yes, I was saying that I was supposed to fly to Kentucky last week, on the 10th, because the conference was at the 11th. So my flight got delayed and then it got canceled because I had a connecting flight from Fort Wayne to Chicago, and then from Chicago all the way to Lexington. Um And then from Lexington, I think it was about an hour or two drive from where the conference was going to be. So I was going to have somebody pick me up from there. So we did that. But the thing was, from the very beginning, I was experiencing a lot of spiritual warfare because the flights got delayed and then canceled. And then afterwards, so I came in the next day. So then I had to fly in on the 11th. And I was really upset because I had a panel with Elizabeth Sutcliffe, another sister of mine that we had on this channel before. I had a panel with her, and so then basically what happened was that I missed that panel on the 11th. I was so upset because it was supposed to be a 20-minute panel with me and her. It's supposed to be a lot of fun, and so she had to do the panel by herself because, again, the flight. So then I landed in Chicago right on the 11th, midday, and then I was waiting I was waiting for my flight to go to Lexington, and then it got delayed, and I was like, uh-oh. And so, I was letting the conference people know, and I was like, all right. I'm like, it's maybe, I mean, I'll be a little late, but it's gonna suck, but whatever. And then it got canceled. That's like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. So I was like, all right, we'll rebook it. We rebooked it. It got delayed again. And then several hours later, it got canceled. I was like, you're joking me right now. I already had multiple delays, multiple cancellations. And keep in mind, this is the day of the conference, the 11th. I was already supposed to be there. And I was like, you're joking right now. And then again, rebooked it, delayed, and then canceled. And then it got to a point where, like, okay, when it got canceled, then they told me that they wouldn't have anything until the next day, until the 12th. And I'm like, uh-oh. And there was no other way for me to get there. This was United Airlines, by the way. This was horrible. And I've never had so much trouble, but it was because of the weather. A lot of it was because of the plane thing, because apparently apparent delays, weather issues, and all that. Like the weather in Chicago was horrible. And I was like, you've got to be kidding. At this point, I already been stuck in the airport for hours. Hours. And I'm not even kidding you guys. Like I was so stressed out. And like the poor conference people, the main person, Michael, he handed me to another poor guy named Philip, who was one of the volunteers and one of the helpers for the event. And he basically told Philip, help her out, figure out a way to get her here. So we're like, okay. So then we were working on it, and then we are like, okay, maybe because and then the brother Eric, which a lot of you guys know because he was on my channel before, he suggested why doesn't she just take a bus, to get here? And so we checked that, and again, I've never ridden a bus before, so I don't know anything about it. So I was really worried. So I was straight in Chicago for many hours. I was not happy. And then so we looked at plane tickets, and then we looked at bus tickets, called customer service. Turns out that they couldn't even here's the weird part. We said, okay, even if I travel the next day, like, would I get a place to stay? Because obviously I'm gonna be staying there overnight. Like I have to be staying almost a whole day. No. They could only give me a 10% discount on a hotel. And we're like, that's ridiculous. So we were not gonna do that. So then again, it was just me traveling by myself. So this poor guy, Philip and I, shout out to Philip, he's the man. He helped me out because he was helping me out like with all this. So then we found a bus ticket. By some miracle, we found a bus ticket. And it was supposed to be leaving at 11:40 at night. And I was supposed to be there. I was gonna land in Louisville at like 6 in the morning, 6, 7 in the morning. And so keep in mind, I was already stressed out. I was anxious. I was like really nervous because this has never happened to me where I had so many cancellations. And so we decided, all right. So we talked to customer service, told them I was taking a bus, but I needed to get my luggage because I had checked out a luggage actually inside. So I wasn't sure if I was able to pick it up. So we did. That ended up working. So I had to stay there for several more hours. Next, an hour and a half for me to be able to get my luggage because they have to locate it to see where it is. I was like, fun. So I stared at the airport even longer. I'm not gonna lie, I was stressed out. I was hungry. I was tired. I was again, it just everything felt super new to me because I'm not used to traveling. I don't travel by myself very often at all. Like this is, normally I take like direct flights or usually the connecting flights are never this bad. So I don't have much traveling experience. So we did that. So we booked a bus thing. The plan was for me to at least get like an Uber or something for me to get to the bus station at night, and then hopefully by the grace of God, I landed in Louisville, and because I was in Chicago, I didn't have any family there or anything, so I was really, really anxious, really upset, and then I was sitting there. By this time, it's already been 7, almost 7 in the afternoon, 7:40, 7:50ish in the afternoon. So I've been stranded there for several hours. Like this was like almost a whole entire day in Chicago airport. Um, and so I remember just sitting there and I was just thinking, I was like, man, like at one point, like I'm not gonna lie, like at one point I had a breakdown and I remember calling my mom and I was like, maybe I'm not supposed to be at this conference. Maybe I'm not supposed to be talking. This is my first speaking conference ever. Maybe I was supposed to be there. And so yeah, so I'm just like completely just worn out, completely tired. And I was thinking, I was like, I'm like, if this bus thing doesn't work out, I'm just gonna go home. I'm not even gonna stress anymore. Like, I think I've been through enough that I'm like, I'm tired. Um, and so that was my plan, that was my thought. Now for some reason, I didn't remember. For some reason, I was scrolling through on social media, right? Because I needed something to distract me. And I ended up actually remembering that I just recently had interviewed a priest, a Coptic Orthodox priest, on my channel. And turns out he's from Chicago, and I completely had forgotten about that. And I was thinking to myself, well, I don't want to be stranded in this airport any longer than I need to be. So I was thinking, and I forgot what his church's name was. Because I was like, maybe I should just go to his church for a little bit. And like, I wonder how far it is from the airport, just something to get me out of here because I was already sick of it. And so I was like, I mean, I'm gonna call him up, and I kind of debated because I was like, I don't want to seem like I'm desperate, like, you know. So I called this priest up. His name is Father David, aka Abuna David. Shout out to you. Um, and so that's what I did. I called him up and I was like, "Hey, Father," and he's so sweet, because he has that Chicago like accent and everything. He's like, "Hey, what's up?" And then he's like, "How you doing?" and all that stuff. And so we started talking for a little bit, and I was like, "Hey, so I told him, I was like, so funny story. I'm stranded in the Chicago airport. I have several hours to spare before my bus leaves. So I was wondering if I could pay a visit to like your church or something." He was like, "Sweetheart, why didn't you tell me?" Like the gist of it was like, "Sweetheart, why didn't you tell me that you were in Chicago?" He's like, "You didn't have to spend that many hours there. It's like like I could have come picked you up and I could have taken you over here with us." And turns out he was going to be going to Bible study shortly, so he invited me. He's like, he's like, "Get your stuff ready," and he's like, "And I'll come pick you up." And he's like, "Join us for Bible study." And it's like, I'm just about to head over there, and he's like, with the youth that I think he has like I don't know if it's like a youth or a young adults thing. He said, "We have a Bible study um that I'll be heading to in a bit." And he's like, "Why don't you come join us?" He's like, "And in fact, it's like, we'll feed you, we'll take good care of you before you have to leave." And he's like, "And in fact, we'll even drive you over to your bus station so you don't have to be like alone, you know?" And I was like, "All right, cool." So I was so relieved. I was like, "Thank God." So so, I got my little bag, went on my way, waited outside for them to come pick me up. It was so much fun. I'm not gonna lie. That was the sweetest people ever. I'm not even kidding, guys. Like, I don't think if you guys have never come across Coptic Orthodox people, they are some of the nicest people, nicest, sweetest people ever. Like, I'm telling you guys, like, some of them, like, if you meet them in real life, they're like really sweet, very humble, very humble. And that's exactly what this community portrayed. It was a car full of a lot of people. There were several girls there, several guys there. They looked about my age. And then there was the priest. So it was really cool because this is the first time we actually got to meet. And so they took me over to Bible study. They found out that I was Catholic, and I honestly I was a little worried, but they're actually very, very sweet and very open to having me. I got to talk to a lot of them. And it was a lot of fun. And so I'm not gonna lie, we entered that Bible study and they had it in a different building, so they didn't have it at their church. A completely different building that somebody had rented out. I don't know how they do their Bible studies, but they rented out like a place and it was really nice. And we got to see outside like how beautiful it was. And got to meet so many people there. Everybody was so friendly. And then when we went inside to start the Bible study, one of the things that really interested me was the fact that like they have something called I believe it's called their morning praises. I don't know if it's called their morning praises or what, but like they do certain like it comes from the Psalms. And I didn't know this. And it was really interesting. So they started with singing, they started with prayer, singing, and when I'm talking about singing, I mean everybody in that room was singing. And it's like what really surprised me is the fact that, like, most people are kinda insecure when they sing because maybe, like, some people think, like, "Oh, I probably sound really bad if I'm singing," but, like, the cops don't even care. Like, they're just, like, singing, and it's beautiful. And again, it comes out of the Psalms, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure that was from the Psalms. It was beautiful. Beautiful, 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 and I loved it. And it actually brought me to tears. I wanted to cry because it sounded really beautiful when the entire room was singing, and then they started talking about, like, oh, and then before we started that, well, they had actually asked me on the way. They're like, "So what are you doing out here?" So I kind of explained to my situation, how I was gonna go speak at a conference in Kentucky for the first time. And to the priest, he told me because he asked me to kind of share a little bit of what my talk was supposed to be about. And I told him, relating to Pride Month, relating to this, relating that to Jesus, how Jesus freed me from all of that. And it was so cool. And so they told me, "Hi, Liz." My girl Liz. Hi, Christina. Love you too, girl. Christina, my other favorite Coptic girl. Love her. Liz. Um, love you, Liz. But yeah, so then I told him what my testimony was gonna be about. So this was on the way to the Bible study. So we actually got to the priest actually told me, Father David, he was like, "So Ariana," and he's like, "So are you?" He's like, "How do you feel about being a little spontaneous today?" I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Why don't you the talk that you're going to give for the conference, why don't you?" He's like, "It's about 15-20 minutes long." He's like, "We can give you that time to go and share that, with us at the Bible study." And he's like, "Why don't you go ahead?" He's like, "We'll give you the opportunity to share your testimony a little bit." And he's like, I think it'll be really good." And it's like, you could get you like a little practice. It's kind of what I understood it as. I was like, "All right, cool." So I did do that. So we got to the Bible study, we did all that, and then he introduced me. And I think this was after the morning praises. And then he introduced me to everybody, and then I got to share my testimony. And everybody was super shocked. Like, I'm telling you, like, jaws were dropped. And I didn't realize how much people resonated with my testimony. And then and so then, yeah, so then we did that, and then we focused on the book of Titus. They were speaking to us about, like, the chapter, like, explaining to us, like, what is the 3 chapters of Titus? What is it trying to tell us, and all that. And it was really interesting to get to hear, like, the different perspectives on the book of Titus. I've never read the book of Titus before, um so that tells you a lot. And but man, these Coptics were really knowledgeable. They mentioned a lot of church history, a lot of church fathers. It's very interesting. And then one girl brought entire vegan food. It was like rice and beans, and it's like Mexican food, but it was all like vegan. And dude, it was the most fire food ever. So we had food right after the Bible study. It was great. I got to talk with a lot of these Coptics. Greatest people ever. I'm telling you, probably some of the warmest people you meet. Some of the warmest people. I felt very loved. I think after a hard day, that is what I needed. Because I think at the end of the day, like, you don't realize how much you probably needed to. Like, I feel like when I look back at that, I'm like, maybe I was supposed to be there. For some strange reason, the Lord placed me to be there at that Bible study. And I don't think it was a coincidence. And I think a lot of us, like, even from that Bible study, a lot of people even told me the same thing too, because they really did connect with my testimony. And surprisingly, we connected a bit of my testimony with what the reading was, in regard to Titus and whatnot. So that was really interesting. Um, so yeah, we stay there, and then I had one of the guys drop me off at one of the guys from there dropped me off at the bus station, make sure that I made it okay. And I did arrive. The next day, I did arrive to Louisville. Um, and man, I was tired. We had several bus stops. It was really interesting, and I honestly was a little scared because I was like, "What if bunch of creepy people like show up on this bus station? Like, some people are wild, you know." Um, but no, it was really interesting. It was really good. So we did that, and I'm gonna see if I could pull up some pictures that I have, because I did take a picture with the priest, and I took a picture with some of the people from the what's it called? Some of the people from the yeah, from the trip. I didn't take a picture with the group. I wish I would have taken a picture with the Coptics because again, very cool. Um, but let's see. So, anyways, so I personally I loved it. Um, because it was very interesting. Definitely a very interesting trip. For me to take. So then I arrived there. I arrived to Louisville, Kentucky. I get off the bus station. I have to wait there a couple more because apparently it was bad weather, and the volunteer that was picking me up um got a little bit delayed because the rain was like really bad. And so he told me, he's like, I will be there. He's like, I'm just gonna be there a little late. So I had to stay there for like an hour or two. Probably about an hour, I would say. And then the guy picked me up, and then we stopped at McDonald's to eat. And then I arrived at then he took me to my cabin. And then I get there at my cabin, and I find out that I'm being roomed with Elizabeth and Cindy, which is Eric's fiance. And they weren't there at first. So I go in there. I go in there. It's a beautiful cabin. Beautiful, beautiful cabin. I go in there and I'm looking around and I see the girls' stuff. And then all of a sudden I hear the sliding doors open behind me. I turn around and then come face to face with Elizabeth and Cindy. And all three of us, I'm not even kidding, we all screamed. We all screamed when we saw each other of happiness. And then we all just gave each other a really big hug. And they were really shocked to see me. And I was really shocked to see them because I wasn't expecting them to show up all of a sudden. And really happy to see everybody. And yeah, so it happened. And then man, I was laughing so much. And then afterward so then I got to get ready. So at that point I already missed the panel. And that's when Elizabeth was telling me that I missed the panel and that she had to do it by herself. I felt really bad. But did that, arrived, got ready, and they took me to the conference. And just as I was about to walk in, just when I was about to walk in, I was so happy. I was so happy because the place was so huge, really beautiful. And I kid you not, I look up, I turn around, and I see this guy, and I was like, I know exactly. And I saw the guy, I saw the guy, and it was the Dr. Carlo. And I was like, oh my God. I'm like, that's the Dr. Carlo Bessard. I'm like, you're freaking joking right now. And I literally was like, and I literally, I didn't even, I turned around because I saw him, and I was like, Dr. Carlo. And I didn't realize I had said it out loud. And he saw me. He's like, Ariana. And so then, like, we gave each other a really big hug. He gave me a really sweet hug. And I'm not going to lie, I died right there and then. And because keep in mind, and I'm not even kidding, guys, sweetest man ever. Sweetest man ever. Like, I'm not even kidding you. He gives you straight dad vibes. I don't know if he has any kids, but if he doesn't, he'll be a fantastic dad because he gives off just automatic dad vibes. And I was freaking out. And then not only that, once I say hi to Dr. Carlo, I go back out in the hallway and I see freaking Gary. And I was like, and I recognized it because I remember William telling me that Gary's a giant. So I ran and I was like, Gary, and I literally said, Gary Machuda? Is that the Gary Machuda? And then he turned around, freaking giant, turned around. He's already like, guys, yeah, I'm not kidding. He's super tall. The man is the tallest man I've ever seen in my life. And he gave me a hug. And then I'm not even kidding, guys. I was so happy to see Gary, and he's like, Ari, and so like he recognized me. We gave each other a really big hug. And then he was telling me that he was gonna go pick up William, and I was like, oh, cool. And then he's like, do you want to come along? And I was like, hell yeah. Listen, Gary could have kidnapped me, and I wouldn't have cared, man. You know, parents always say, don't ever get in a car with strangers. Well, I ended up in Gary's car, and we went to go pick up William. So little on me. Probably don't do that, but I did that. And so yeah, so I rode in Gary's truck, front thing, and it was so cool. He's so quiet, so reserved, but he was so sweet. And so he took me to his cabin because that's where William's apparently live with the Virgin Most Powerful. So we walk in there, really nice cabin that they have, honestly. Really, really nice. It's an Airbnb if I'm not mistaken, but it wasn't far. It was like probably like 5 minutes or less, like to where the event was. So Gary and I come in, we see that William is still live with you guys on Virgin Most Powerful. That's when we did the appearance. So if you guys didn't watch him, like we went out. Also, I see that William is getting salty here in the he went from this to let's go to Liz yelling at him, no all caps, final warning to oops to saying fangirling over Carla and chopped liver, fine I am out, gonna punch him only. Was he hard to notice, Gary? Don't tell him that, Liz. Jeez. And so yeah, there you go. So if that doesn't explain how my relationship with these guys, then I don't know what is. But so anyway, so we go in there and William is yapping his ear off and whatnot. And I think he had put you guys on like mute because I think he was gonna go get a drink. He saw me, went to go hug him. He told me that he was still doing um and then so then we went back into the room. And then he went back into the room, and then he had us. Gary and I. We just. Gary was like, "I thought he was done by now." I was like, "I'm like, leave it to William to delay that." And so then we sat there for a while, and then I think Gary got like tired of waiting, so he texted him. He's like, texted him. It was like, "Hey, like, we will we'll come back for you again," because I think Gary was tired of waiting, and so yeah. But William hurried up, and we got to show up on this little live stream. For Virgin Most Powerful. Gary really is a giant, guys. The sweetest guy ever. I got to talk to him. It was so cool. He's so 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 nice. Um, I don't think I've ever met a nicer guy than Gary. Honestly, Gary is such a sweetheart. And he was asking me how the traveling was and whatnot. Um, so that was fun. And so then right after that, William was done yapping, ended his live stream. Then we went back to the conference, and we just sit there, and I got to talk a little bit to Dr. Carlo. That was so much fun. I was so happy. I was like a little girl. Like y'all ever like? It was like one of those moments where it's like, man, like this guy has been my childhood hero. Like keep in mind, Carlo and Trent Horn were like the people that got me into loving apologetics. So to meet Carlo, I've been following Carlo since I was 15 years old. So that was a lot of fun. Um, and getting to talk to him was the nicest thing ever. Um, and yes, I'm drinking regular Coke, guys. Regular Coke, not the heretical Coke that William drinks. Um, so anyways, we get there. I got to see Eric. Got to see everybody. I got to see Enoch. Dude, that was so much fun. And then we met Anthony from the Relics Project. That was so much cool. Dude, I was so excited to meet Enoch because Enoch's music is incredible, by the way. He is he is one of the best like Catholic rappers. And so it was really interesting to get to talk to him and then get to see all these relics. Like, do they have like another room in that same building? They had another room where it was just like an entire room full of relics, and you just walk around and you can read about these little relics and whatnot. And I saw a bunch of Saint Joseph once, and I was such a happy girl. And then there was one of like Saint Michael the Archangel. There was one of Saint Teresa of Avila, um, Saint Teresa of Lisieux, Saint Francis, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, and then from John the Baptist's mother too. Like that was pretty cool. Not even John the Baptist. I was kind of sad because I wanted to send some to to James. If you guys don't know James Tay, my brother. He loves St. John the Baptist, and I was really happy to do so, and there wasn't any, so I was really disappointed. But but I got to send some from like the mom, so that was fun. Um, and then so we did that. That was fun. Um, so yeah, I got to, and then and then when I got there, I should have mentioned this before I met with Gary. Dr. Carlo, actually, like when we had met and I had said hi to him, he told me that he wanted to show me the green room. There was like a green room specifically just for like the speakers, and I was really excited about that. And my laptop's about to die. Um, I was really excited about that. So he sent a so he walked me over to the green room, was showing me there, and dude, I got to see Evan. That was fun. Evan is another Catholic content creator, very popular Catholic content creator. And and I got to meet Evan, and that was so cool. He's really, really nice. He's like probably one of the best Catholic content creators out there. Like his quality of video, his marketing, and he's like younger than me. Incredible. Incredible. So that was fun. And so yeah, Dr. Carlo was a sweetheart, and he was showing me around. And then chilling with Gary was a lot of fun too. And then so yeah, so we got there, we got to talk to everybody, got to catch up with everybody. That was a lot of fun. So that was just, I believe that was just about the first day. And then the second day was so that was already Thursday. So then no, right? Yeah. So I arrived there Thursday. So that was basically about the 18th. And then like the guys did a bunch of stuff with like swords and whatnot at the Sacred Heart conference. It was really weird. But yeah. And then Friday, another day, I woke up. Friday is when I don't remember if Friday or Saturday was when I shared my testimony. I actually don't remember. Oops. Don't remember. But yes, it was fun. I got to listen to Dr. Carlos speak. Um I got to listen to a couple of the talks, got to hang out with everybody. Um and then so yeah, that was basically it from the conference. I would say that um there was a lot of spiritual warfare because there was just a lot going on. Um like a lot going on. I think that one of the biggest things is I feel like I somewhat enjoyed the conference, but not fully. And I think a lot of it was because I was already going through enough like um spiritually and personally. So I think it did catch up to me because I was physically, emotionally tired. I was drawn out. And then not only that, but like on my way over to Kentucky, and I was stuck at the Chicago airport. I found out that a family member of mine died. So I was grieving that weekend. So I think it was kind of hard. I feel like I feel like I didn't get to enjoy it as much as I wanted to from the very beginning. Um, I was very emotional. Not that it's an excuse, but I was in a moment of grievance. I wasn't even sure if I was gonna talk just because I was just kind of over it. Um, but pulled through somehow. Um, yeah, I don't think I've ever been that much spiritually attacked in one weekend. And it was hard because like I have a hard time even saying how I feel, and everybody was in their own world. So I do think that there were a lot of things that happened. Just like there was a lot of positive things that happened, there were a lot of non good things that happened. Um, I think that everybody kind of just assumed that I was just being dramatic or just like, sudden outbursts. And instead of being understanding, I feel like some people kind of jumped on the judgmental route, and I ended up kind of shutting down. Um, but yeah, but and I'm not happy of it, but I think one of the things I learned is like when people are grieving, not everybody is going to understand the way that you process or the way that you handle certain things. So there are some people that will maybe say maybe you shouldn't be like maybe you shouldn't be too focused on your problems because maybe somebody else's problems are a little more than yours. So um but yeah, I've had a couple of moments where I wasn't too happy with certain people. Um it didn't feel fair to me. I'm not mad at them, but I do believe that we need to learn to be more compassionate. We need to learn to understand that just because maybe something doesn't bother you, it will bother somebody else. That everybody deals with things differently, you know, and maybe learn to be a little more supportive instead of um, just assuming that they're just wanting to cause problems. Um, and yeah, so and these are people that I trusted, so it kind of sucked. Had a lot of disagreements during that week with certain people. Have a lot of issues with those people actually. But I think at the end, when it was time for my talk, I wasn't sure how it was going to go because because they kept delaying a lot of the talks, and they were delaying a lot of the talks because they were behind on schedule for a lot of them, and I wasn't even sure if I was going to get a chance to talk. But once it was my turn, like, because even like I don't know if the guy that was coordinated the entire thing, I don't know if he like sensed something was off or what, but he even asked me, he's like, "Are you okay being able to do this talk?" And I was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." So he kind of asked me like what was going on, and I told him I was like, "On my way over here, found out that a family member passed away." So that was hard for me, and because the thing about it is that family member was the family member that I was going to talk about in my testimony. He's a huge part of my testimony, and not in a good way. Um, so it was a lot. So I went up there and I was like, I don't know what's gonna happen. This is either gonna be the best talk ever. This is gonna be the worst talk ever. I don't even remember much of what I said, but all I remember was this: when I went up and shared my testimony. Um, I had my notes written on my phone, so I took it up with me. And as I was kind of reading, going through some of the things, all of a sudden I felt like I didn't need it anymore. And I felt like my entire body was just like burning up when I was up there. And I just felt myself speak and speak and speak. And at one moment, I was looking at the very front row and I saw this guy, this older guy, and I believe he was with like probably his family, his wife or somebody. And I saw that this guy was listening very intently, an older guy, like an elderly guy. He was looking over the entire time at me, and I could tell that his mouth just kept dropping every single time that I kept speaking. And I could tell this guy's eyes was filled with tears. Now there was a certain moment in my testimony, which if you guys know it, if you guys haven't seen it, it's up on Eric's channel. Um, there was a there was a point where this guy's eyes were just like he just immediately just started crying. So if you guys heard the talk, you guys know about some of the stuff that I went through. And when I was talking about a second time of a thing that happened to me, he was like completely just in tears. And I could just feel the silence of the room. Like everybody was just like in shock. And and it really, really just got to me. And so like uh yes, I don't remember what I said. I will always remember that guy's face. Once I was done, I mean, yeah, like received the applause, I came down Anthony from the Relics Project was the first person to hug me, and then Elizabeth was, and then I kept walking, and Dr. Carlo actually stood up from his seat, went over to where I was, and immediately gave me the biggest hug ever. And it almost made me cry because he told me, he's like, and I was kind of stunned because he kind of looked at me and he's like, "You did a really great job up there." He's like, "Man, you are a warrior." He's like, "But I will say this." He's like, "I'm really sorry you went through all that." Um, he's like, "But man, you are a fighter." And he told me that I did a really good job. And he gave me a really big hug. And that almost made me cry. And then William gave me a hug, and then Eric and a lot of the other people did too. And then there was and then there was a bunch of, I think what amazed me was like right after my talk, there were several older people that came up to me, elderly people that came up to me. There's a lady that told me, because she was like, "Thank you for being such a great, powerful witness." And then there was a couple of older people that came up to me and shared with me their stories relating to what I shared. And they told me I had this happen to me too. Um, some that never spoken up about it, some where it was the first time that they ever told anybody about what they went through, and they felt comfortable enough to share it with me. Um, a lot of it was older guys. That's what surprised me. A lot of it was older, elderly guys that came up to me and were sharing with me their experiences. And I was just like amazed, but I was shocked. I mean, I never, and here's the weird part. I never thought, like, when I was there, I never thought, like, oh, this is all my well doing. Like, no. Like, I didn't want to make myself the center of that talk. But I guess, like, even, I feel like I kind of doubted. I feel like I kind of, sometimes I forget that a lot of the experiences that I went through, other people went through it too. And that I'm not the only one that went through it, but also, like, there are people that will connect with what you say. I don't know. I didn't think anybody was gonna, like, I thought maybe like one or two people maybe might resonate with my story. But it was a lot more people that came up to me and told me completely differently. Turns out that there was, like, I had people crying, and I didn't even see that. I only saw that one older guy. That is an image that I won't forget. Um, but yeah, that really surprised me. Um, and again, I couldn't even tell you what exactly it is that I shared. I couldn't even tell you just because I don't remember every single word that I said. I just know that once I came off that stage, I felt like a weight has just been I felt like everything that I was carrying, it was just lifted off my shoulders. Like completely just lifted off. Like it was like, it's like when you have something heavy on your back and somebody takes it off. Like that's how that felt. The moment that I walked off the stage and I was done. Um and the crazy thing about it is I feel like the people that judged me at the conference, the people that judged me, and they know who they are. The people that judged me and spoke about me, I feel like they started to understand. Like once I gave that talk, I feel like they somewhat started to understand why I acted the way that I did. You know, um, it's very interesting when you go through certain things. You start to realize how different people respond. Maybe you expect the people that you least expect are the people that tend to be the most comforting. And the people that maybe you expected to be a little more understanding in that moment, they don't end up being those people. So it's always the least, there's always, I don't know if that makes sense, but it's always the least people you expect, to be honest. So that was really interesting. But other than that, it was a really interesting weekend. Um, and then we got to like doing a couple talks during that weekend. And then we went to the big theater. There was an outside theater at the amphitheater, is what they call it. And Enoch and a bunch of other Catholic rappers. And I got to be in the green room. Like they took us there. Here's the crazy part, y'all. So like I think it was Saturday. I want to say it was Saturday where we headed Saturday or Friday. We ended to the amphitheater, and all the speakers were gonna talk, all the rappers were gonna perform and whatnot. And so we did have an incident where Eric's fiance ended up passing out from a heat stroke. He was supposed to be opening up the amphitheater talk, the amphitheater evening, and he couldn't because his fiance got really, 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 really sick. And so like the guy, Michael, was the coordinator of everything. He kind of went to us and he's like, yeah, he's like, he's not gonna be able to make it. Like, Cindy got really, really bad heat stroke, like she's like throwing up, like it's really bad. And we're like, oh no. Um, and then Michael was like, I think he was trying to get somebody to like speak, and he asked me and William, just like, would you guys be able to speak, or William, or you, or somebody? And William immediately, like a champ, he was like, I'll do it. He's like, I got you. So on a late notice, William was only supposed to give, I think, one talk for the amphitheater one, because he already gave a couple like over here at the conference. He was supposed to only give like one talk, and he ended up stepping up, and he did multiple. He did one alone. Well, he did the one that he was supposed to do, and then the second time they did a mock discussion slash debate. Him and Dr. Carlo, where Dr. Carlo was playing a Protestant, and William was the Catholic, and they were talking about Mary, I believe. And it was really interesting. And then William talked about the Sacred Heart. Um, so it was really interesting. So William stepped up because Eric was not gonna be able to speak because he was too busy taking care of his fiance, which is understandable because hello, like she's literally like sick. Um, so it looked like Eric had told him, well, just ask William. So William did do it. And then we had a couple of so it's really interesting because Dr. Carlo wasn't even supposed to speak at that amphitheater thing, but him and William killed it. They did amazing. It was a really good discussion actually. Um, and then we had a singing Franciscan priest. I think that's who he was. He was incredible. He was really sweet. Oh, and they got to ride in the car with Enoch and William and Dr. Carlo. That was so cool, man. Like talking to Enoch was so cool. Enoch is one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. Like he is really, 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 really nice. And I got to hang in the green room with all the guys. It was so cool. And but I was slightly fangirling because I am a huge fan of Enoch. And he did get to sing one of my favorite songs, and I was so happy. Um so we did that. I got to hang out the green room with everybody, got to take pictures of all of them. And that was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun to hanging out with everybody there. And then once the talks came up and then the concerts and everything, the rappers were incredible. They were jumping on the stage and rapping their hearts out. Dude, it was great. And then later on at night, this was Saturday, and then later on at night they had a worship band. It was a Protestant worship band perform at the end, like to close out the night. They weren't bad. They were pretty good. Really, really sweet people. I didn't know they were Protestant though. Um, but yeah, that was fun. That was fun, and we had a really really good time. And so yeah, then after that the night ended. Bronca, it's all about Ari, isn't it? All about you. No one can sleep. Shut up, Bronca. Anyways, Bronca, at least I'm not part of the losing team. Didn't the USA whoop y'all? Yeah, remember that in the World Cup? But anyways, but yeah, so that was Saturday, and then Sunday night was a little more fun. So Sunday night, I kind of panicked a little bit because like turns out that there was complications with my reservation. I was like, oh no, but we ended up fixing it. Eric's fiance was feeling a lot better by then, by Sunday. So they got to take me to we went to go get some food because it turns out they were going to be driving me to the airport. Because they were going to leave on Monday and I was leaving Sunday. So they took me to the airport, and see, there you go. She gets it. Hush, Benjamin. Good morning, all. He cheated. Yeah, right, Bronca. You're just sad because USA whooped y'all. Um, but anyways, so then Sunday was really fun because got to go to the so actually no. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So we were heading to we were heading to Louisville at that time. I know I said Lexington earlier, but like they switched it to Louisville. So we got to the airport, we got some stuff handled, got my bag checked, went to go get some food, and then they dropped me back off again because they were like, "We don't want you to be late for it," or whatever. But Eric is such a sweetheart, but he has such a bad conscience, so he felt really bad leaving me stranded leaving me at that airport for many hours. So they came back from and they took me to church. So they're like, let's go to mass and see if we can find you to go to confession because I haven't gone to confession, by the way. And and so then we went to go get some Mexican food, some carnitas, ugh, amazing, amazing Mexican food. And then we stopped by at a couple Catholic churches. It was amazing. We actually ran into the brother of one of the speakers and musicians from that conference, which is really cool. And they were talking to us about their church. We got to tour a couple of churches. It was really beautiful. Now, one of the things that really surprised me was that like during that time, there was a certain saint that popped up for me. So Saint Francis of Assisi, for some reason, from that weekend, some things related to Saint Francis of Assisi kept popping up for me during this conference. And I don't have a devotion to Saint Francis of Assisi at all. Saint Raphael as well, and Saint Gemma Glogani. I don't know anything about any of them other than Saint Raphael because I love the archangels, but Saint Michael's my favorite. But Saint Gemma Glogani and Saint Francis of Assisi were like the main ones. And then the Divine Mercy. I have a huge devotion to the Divine Mercy Chaplet. So that kept popping up for me too. But I didn't really understand it, which is why the other day I asked William about like if there's a connection between those three, because those three were the ones that like kept popping up for me, and that's why I was asking, like, hey, like, does this mean that like maybe some things will seek you out, maybe to have you maybe like go to them for intercession? I didn't really know, to be honest, and I didn't want to be like superstitious. Um, but yeah, I don't know anything about Saint John McLeod. I don't know anything about Saint Francis, but I'm asking them a lot for their intercession because it looked like clearly they were trying to seek me out, you know. Um, and I'm starting to read a little bit more about them. Very interesting, by the way. So anyways, back to my story. Sunday, we ate some amazing bomb food. Then we stopped by a couple of churches, and then we went into this one church. Beautiful church, by the way. And I have never gone to a church like this before. I'm not even kidding you guys. Like that was a beautiful, beautiful church. Beautiful church. It was called what's it called? I sent it to James a couple days ago. Let me check. Um, Let me see. Where is it? James, where you at, bro? I know I sent it to James a couple days ago, and I was telling him about it. It was the hold on. Hi Elizabeth. Hi sister. Oh, it was the Sierra Malabar Corbana. So we visited a church like that. It was with Eric and Cindy. We visited a church on Sunday. And so the Order of the Sierra Malabar Cubana. So it's a Catholic church, but it's a church founded by St. Thomas. Um Now we've never been into a church like that. And listen, we went there coincidentally. Coincidentally, we went there and it was beautiful. We saw a lot of people there, but then we realized like this feels a little weird because there was a lot of people that obviously um, it's more of a I believe it's more of like an Indian, like, church. So and obviously the priest looked at us. So I think we obviously stood out like sore thumbs, right? And so then so we go there and the priest's like, "Hi, you guys new here or whatnot." I think he probably wanted to say, "Are you guys lost?" But, it's a Christina, I don't know if they're Syriac. I wanna say yes. I just know it's called the St. Thomas Sierra Malabar Catholic. So it's a Catholic church. So it's a different Catholic rite church. I don't know if they're Syriac or not. Probably. I wouldn't be surprised, but I don't know much about them, so I don't want to misspeak. Don't strangle me if somebody's here listening. Um, but it was beautiful. And and so then the priest invited us for mass. And like we told them like, oh, we were gonna head to mass, and they said that, oh, we're actually about to have mass right now. Like they were about to have their kobana. And I was like, ooh. And so then he told us, he's like, like I'll throw in some English for you guys if you guys want to stay. So the priest was very lovely. And so we stayed, we're like, all right, cool. But then Eric pulled the priest aside and he's like, hey, so my sister hasn't been to confession, and he's pointing to me. Is in like, is there any way you can give her like 5 minutes for confession? And so that way she can receive the Eucharist today and whatnot. And the priest was like, of course. So he put me in a room. Literally, he was like, okay, come follow me. So we went into a room. I got to do confession right there, which by the way, for those who are not familiar with the Catholic rites, we as Catholics, we can the beauty about the Catholic Church and the Catholic rite is that we can go to any of the other rites and do a confession with any of those other priests. So, for example, I am a Latin rite Catholic, but if I wanted to go visit an Eastern Catholic church, I could go and receive confession at the Eastern Catholic Church because they are still Catholic. So same thing with this, but same thing with this, right? I am able to go and receive confession from this priest because he is a Catholic priest, even though it's a different rite. So we are able to do that, and we don't condemn that. So I just want to clarify that for people. So it was really cool. And then so we got there, and so then I got to do my confession. Beautiful. I felt so good. And I was like, I'm ready to receive Jesus, y'all. And I was so happy. And so then we went inside. We went inside. Beautiful. From beginning to end. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I've never attended a different Catholic rite church ever before. I'm not even kidding, guys. It was the best experience ever. The language, beautiful. The English, the language, everything was beautiful. Finding out that St. Thomas, out of all saints, was the one that founded this church, amazing. Like, and then they had like a book where we could follow along, and the priest would like say it in English, like, oh, page this page, or this page, or this page, to be able to flip, and we can follow along with it. And we got to receive the Eucharist, and it was so beautiful. It was so good, guys. Like I was so happy. We got to take pictures of that church, and I had a lot of fun with that one. And I'm not gonna lie, like we all started crying at one point. Eric started crying, Cindy started crying, I started crying because it was so, so beautiful. Like so beautiful. And then not only that, but like after the mass was over, like the priest even made like an announcement to give us a warm welcome to the church, because it's the first time that we're visiting, and so it was really cool. And like we had a lot of people, we had several people come up to us and like talk to us about their church and whatnot. So it was really cool, and we got to take pictures. Um, Strangely enough, I found another Saint Francis of Assisi statue related thing there in that church, and I was like, man. Um, It's really, and then you know what's crazy is that I knew that Saint Francis of Assisi was calling to me because even during my confession, even through like the penance, there was something that this priest said about Saint Francis of Assisi that I had to read or do for my penance, and I was like, at this point, that was so obvious. It was so obvious, and so yeah, so that was kind of my experience. And then they took me back to the airport. This time we had less time for me to wait, so I was able to go there. And then I got to the Chicago got to here's the funny thing about it. My way back home, it was only I think delayed like once, and then I got back home safe. Like there was no other issues. Like it was literally like zero spiritual warfare right after I came back. So going to the conference was a lot of spiritual warfare. Coming back from the conference, zero spiritual warfare. And I was like, why couldn't this have happened when I wasn't freaking out? Like why? You know? Um, but yeah, it was a lot of fun. And that was kind of how my conference thing went. Um, it was cool. It was really cool, to be honest. I'm very grateful that I got to meet a lot of different people there. I'm very, very grateful. And I don't know if I can download the pictures right now, but let me see if I can possibly show you guys some of the pictures that I have, because I do want to show you guys how beautiful it was. Let me see if I can transfer these. But yeah, so that was my experience. I had a lot of fun though. um, despite certain things. But yeah, I think I was most excited to see Dr. Carlo. I was really excited to see Gary. Evan was so sweet. Evan somehow knew about me, and I think it's because I had applied to be his editor like a while back, even though it like never happened. Um, but uh, but yeah. So I'm going to be showing you guys the picture shortly once I get these pictures sorted out. So yeah, that was fun. And I got to hear Gary speak, like freaking icon, dude. Like the guy's a legend. And Gary is super tall, guys. Like I'm not even kidding. Like it's actually embarrassing how tall he is. The guy is one of the nicest guys I've ever met. Um, and I was so scared that he wasn't gonna like me because I yap a lot. But I think he liked me. He didn't stay though for long because he had a family emergency. But yeah, it was really cool. And let's see. Okay, so maybe let me see if I can get my. I'm going to do this real quick. So let's see if this works. Do, 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 do. So I really want to show you guys these pictures. It's really cool. I went through a lot of spiritual warfare, guys. That was horrible. But I don't think the enemy ever wanted to throw. If the enemy wanted to throw me off, he did a pretty good job of trying to do all that. Here it is. Uh-oh. Let me see if I got it. Okay, so let me see. Oh yeah, the two lizards are here. All right, so let's see here. This is. I'm going to delete this. I will say this though. Um, Never think that your story is too little. You never know who's gonna relate to it. Truly. Um. Okay, so let me see if I can share my screen. Bruh. Why are you doing this to me? Come on, Tree Don't be a butt today. Okay. Okay. So let me download these images. Let me do this. Okay. And then I do apologize because William and I were supposed to do like a Sacred Heart novena, and we never ended up doing it. We just got way too busy to do it, like way, way too busy. So that never happened, unfortunately. Okay. So let's see. So I think we got this one. So let me show you guys. But let no one despise your youth, but be an example to the believers in word and conduct and love and spirit and faith and purity. Amen, sister. Amen. So let me show you guys a couple. I got Let me show you guys this one. Look at that. Look at that. That's me and Dr. Carlo. Y'all, this this made my little heart so happy. You guys don't even know how happy I was when I got that picture. I was like, hell yes. Um, made my heart the very happiest. The happiest of the happiest of the happiest. Because if y'all don't know, I am a huge fan of Dr. Carlo. I've spoken about this for like 1,000 years. And that was so much fun. And then let me show you guys a couple more pictures. Okay. See? That photo makes my heart happy. And then we also got, hold on. I am pulling up the photos right now so I can show you guys. Also, by the way, Gary really does love his sweet tea in person, guys. I will say that. Oh, look. And then this one was Eric's fiance. And then there's me, and then there's Elizabeth. That was fun. And then this one is of the guys. It's Gary, William, and Dr. Carlo. That was fun. And then me and Enoch. That was a lot of fun. I really want to pull up that picture with me and that priest, because that priest was fire. Let me find it. Maybe it's this one. I don't remember. No, not that one. Okay, so let's see. Look at that. Right? Like that was a dream come true. Okay. Let me figure out what the other one is. Oh, here it is. This was me and Father David when I got to meet him in Chicago. I got to hang out with him. He's the nicest guy ever. Nicest Coptic priest ever. St. Mary's Coptic Orthodox Church in Chicago. So if y'all ever are curious, definitely go visit him. Sweetest guy ever. Sweetest priest. You know, the way that you guys see him is happy. That's how happy he is in real life. Oh, and then this photo was when we were waiting for William. William was in the other room. Um, like William was in the other room, and so Gary and I were just talking, man, and it was a lot of fun. We were waiting, but he was impatient because he wanted William to hurry up. Oh, and this was the view in Chicago. We were on the upper balcony. And we went inside because it started raining. So I'm 4'10", guys. Shut up. Liz, don't even start, girl. Anyways, this was the upper balcony of Chicago. Really cool. So we definitely got to do that. And then this was me and Evan. Hold on, I'll pull it up right now. This was me and Evan. Dude, I was so happy to meet him. I was so happy to meet him. I only got to meet him one day just because he had to leave that same day that I arrived. I was so sad. And look at this picture. Hold on. I gotta show you guys this one. Elizabeth and I are so short. Elizabeth and I are so short. Look at that. Compared to William and Gary. Look how tall, dude. And that's Gary standing, y'all. That's Gary freaking standing. I wish I was kidding, guys, but like, man, that's Gary standing. What else? See, cause look at this. Hold on. Look at that. Gary even had to crouch down because look at that. That podium. That podium right there. Gary had to hunch over, man. I love Gary, but man, that was so funny. That was so funny. I could not stop laughing. And that was hilarious. That was actually hilarious. Let's see what else I got here. Let me see if I can. So, see, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? And then let's see what else I got here. Oh, um, man, I wish these relics photos would post because I really wanted to show you guys these relics photos. These relic photos are beautiful. I got to see so many of them. Let's see if I got this. Oh, and then I met Philip. You guys probably know who Philip is. If you guys watched Warriors for Life yesterday, they had on my guy Philip. And that was really, really interesting because he was a Protestant and he converted to Catholicism. Beautiful story, by the way. He is an actual Philip is an actual angel. That was the guy, the older guy that that Elizabeth had on yesterday on Warriors for Life. That was the guy that was helping me find a bus and find everything for me to get her to the conference safely. And I wish I was kidding, but I'm not kidding. So I wish I was kidding, but I'm not kidding at all. Like that was the guy. But look at that. That photo makes my heart happy. Um yeah, I'm so happy. And then I got to meet Elizabeth. Elizabeth flew all the way from Canada. Like that's crazy. Um but yeah, shout out to the Coptics. Dude, they fed me so well and they took really good care of me. Um despite me about losing my head. I ain't gonna lie. Okay. Seriously, I'd rather meet Freddy Krueger, Jason Pennywise all in the dark alley over Gary. Leave Gary alone, guys. Dude, Gary is actually so nice. He doesn't really talk though unless you like talk to him. And I didn't believe William when he said that about Gary, but it is true. Good evening and God bless. Good evening, God bless, brother. Egyptian huts. Yes, I will say that they do a much better job. You guys do a much better job than us when it comes to evangelizing because most of the Catholics here they suck. I ain't gonna lie. Like we don't know how to act sometimes. We're not the most hospitable. I mean, I'm assuming that's like a I'm assuming that maybe that's like a Coptic thing because I see that like I've never met like a mean Coptic unless you count like some of the online ones, if I'm being really honest with you. But and this isn't to bash on Catholics, but we don't know how to be hospitable sometimes. And I think that that's why a lot of people tend to convert over people's hospitality. Veronica's scared of Gary. Yeah, we all know this. Is as Catholics are so awkward. We are very awkward. We are very awkward, and it's no bashing to the Catholic Church. Like I will say, we are some of the most awkward people. Oh, and then let me show you guys this picture. Your girl speaking. You know, I don't know what I was saying in that moment, but it looks like I was like, you know, clock it. You know. Uh, anyway, that's just me being awkward. But yeah. So let me show you guys some photos that I got here. I got more photos. I believe to put them in the Google Drive, so that's beautiful. God bless Google Drive where I can post these photos. So let me show you guys some more photos. Look at this. St. Padre Pio. Look at that. Look at that beauty. St. Joseph's tunic, second class relic. Look at that. That's from St. Paul the Apostle. That was fire. That was so cool. These were some of the relics that were there. I was amazed. St. John Newman, second class. I think there was a confusion with this one because I think James pointed out there was like another thing that they had on there that was kind of weird. Um, yeah, I think there was a confusion between these two, according to James. Like there's something up with that. I'm not too sure how. I'm not too sure because I don't know much about relics to be honest. I'm kind of a newbie and I'm kind of like a weirdo when it comes to that sort of thing. Um, and so yeah, I don't know much about that. Let's see. And let me show you. Okay, let me show y'all some more. So they are real, Ari. Right? They're beautiful relics. They are. I just don't know much about them. I wish I could tell you guys like stories about them, but I don't. I'll probably be bringing on Anthony soon to talk about the relics. And look, this is me and Elizabeth. It was so exciting meeting her. She gives off complete mom vibes, and because she is a mom, but she does give complete mom vibes. And look at that. Look at that. That's my boy Philip right next to Enoch. See, that's William, Enoch, and then Philip, and then that's I believe that's Prodigal, another Catholic R&B um R&B artist. It's hip hop artist. Really cool. Really, really cool to get to meet that. Um, yeah. This poor man, I'm not gonna lie. The funny story is when I met Philip, it was so cool because he saw me and he's like, "So you're the young lady I was helping out?" I was like, "Yes." And so he basically said, "You're my adopted daughter now." He's like, "Because I just helped you through the worst 48 hours of your life." I was like, "Yes, you did." So he practically adopted me. He said I'm like his adopted daughter. Philip was the nicest man ever. Look at that man. He is a sweetheart. I was exhausted um, after that. But yeah, these relics, man. These relics. I was so excited to see this. Let me show you guys what the green room. I have a little bit of pictures of what the green room was kind of like. So let me see if I can find them. And also, what did you guys think about that debate last night? That was fun. William and Toronto Bible Study. Amazing, 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 amazing. Oh, look at that. So that's Anthony and William. We had a pretty good I would never show y'all fake relics. Um, Unless Anthony lied to us, which I doubt it. Anthony's the man. Let me see if I have other pictures. I do have other pictures. I know I do. Let's see. I don't know if they downloaded it or not, but oh, here it is. And look at that. That was Enoch and the rest of the other guys. There was a bunch of us in there. It was just me and a room full of guys at the beginning. But I was only there because just in case William was going to speak so I can take photos. But to be fair, though, William has had more experience debating than Toronto, if I'm not mistaken. But I will say this, and I told William I would be glad to do another debate, to moderate another debate between them, because Toronto is actually respectful. Oh, look, and this was everybody. Like, that's me and Eric. See, and Eric and a couple of the other speakers. Gary, freaking giant. I'm pretty sure he's almost as tall as that flag. Um, but yeah, like that was fire. Um, so yeah, these are some of the pictures that I have on here. Um, I have more photos. I just can't find them for the life of me. But oh, I want to show you guys this one. Hold on. Let me see if I can so let me do this real quick. But yeah, I fangirled over the St. Joseph ones. Those are my favorites. Man. Oh, let me show y'all this. Look. Look at that. St. John the Apostle, St. Thomas the Apostle, St. James the Lesser, St. Philip, St. Andrew, St. Jude, St. Matthew. First class relic, guys. All that was inside that little tiny monsters. So that was so cool. So cool, man. Also, I will be right back. I have to go pee. Chat, you guys can keep talking. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. Sorry. I had to pee. There's no way I was gonna hold it if I didn't go right now. I do have more pictures to show you guys. So as you guys can see, I had a lot of fun with these relics. These relics were beautiful. I got more photos that I want to share y'all. So let me just pull them out right now. For the grace of God, if these show up. Come on, where'd it go? Okay. I wonder if I could share the screen instead of having to download all these photos. Let's see. Maybe not this one. Okay. Okay, so let's see. Because I do want to show you. I do want to share with you guys the other photos that I had. Okay, maybe not. Actually, yeah. So let's see. And we had another photo thing. Oh, inside the green room. Maybe you guys will giggle at this photo. This was so cute. So let me show y'all. Anyway, just a reminder that Australia lost. Just want to remind y'all. Remember that, Bronca? Do you remember that, Bronca? Anyways, guys, look at that. Look at that. Me and the bald man. There's William. There's me. Look at that. There's William. There's Enoch, and there's Dr. Carlo. They're all taller than me, obviously. And when I got to take a second photo with Enoch at the conference, that was so cool. He's so nice. That's Elijah Yassi's brother, if you guys don't know who that is. Let's see. And this is me and Eric. Shut up, Bronca. Bronca's just a hater, guys. He's mad because Australia lost. And they got their butts whooped. And then this is me, and this was me and another musician. That was at that conference as well. Pretty good. I believe it's country, if I'm not mistaken. And then this was me and Anthony. I was holding St. Joseph's relic, and I think he was holding St. Teresa's relic, if I'm not mistaken. So that one was fun, and then I want to show you guys. Let me show you guys something else. Oh, this was such a cute photo. Okay, hold on. And then let me see if I can find it, because there's a really good. Okay, here it is. ET's so high energy. he has a lot of energy. I'm terrible with names. I forgot what his name is, but sweetest one. He has a big rosary. Guys. Like, it's like hanging on his I don't know what you call it that they wear, but incredibly huge. Incredibly huge. I think he's Franciscan. I think so. I could be wrong. I don't want to assume. So I don't remember what he is. I don't remember. But there's that. And then look at that. Dr. Carlo and William. This was after they had done their mock debate / discussion. Dr. Carlo was way too nice to be a Protestant, though. Dr. Carlo is way too nice to be a Protestant. God bless his soul. But yeah, he's way too nice to be a Protestant. Way too nice. This one was a fire photo. I actually am proud of this picture. I took a lot of pictures of when Enoch performed, and that was fine. I ain't gonna lie. Look at that. These guys were high energy. High energy. Also, did you guys know that Bronca's gonna send me Vegemite? Pray for me because I might actually die. I might actually die if I try Vegemite, guys. I'm not even kidding. Um, so if I die, we blame it on Bronco, okay, guys? Just okay, perfect. Okay, perfect. If you know, you know. Okay, perfect. Oh, oh, look at that. That was William when he was speaking, taking over Eric because, you know, his fiance was not doing too good. Um, Now I have pictures of the church. Let me pull them up. I don't know if they posted in this drive yet or not. Probably not. Okay. Because I do have pictures of the church. It was beautiful. The church, the Corbana church was gorgeous. Yeah, the okay, perfect. Okay, perfect. Okay, perfect. Ari, you would love it. Veronica, if I don't like the Vegemite, I'm going to beat you up because you've been hyping this you've been hyping this Vegemite stuff up for very long, and I'm gonna be very disappointed in you if it's not as good as you say it is. And that will just prove that Australia sucks if it's actually as bad. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I'm either gonna gag or I'm either gonna love it. I'm not gonna travel to Australia, but he's gonna send me it. He told me he was gonna send me the Vegemite, so we'll see how that goes. Pray for me, y'all. I might die. I might die trying this. If I die, it's all Bronco's fault. Let me just say it how it is. We blame it on Bronco. I'm not even kidding, guys. I'm low key terrified to try this Vegemite stuff. Because again, he's been hyping it up for so long that I don't know what to do. Australia might suck, but at least they have cute koalas. You mean kangaroos? 'Kay, they have cute kangaroos too. I will say that. But I think Bronco almost got beaten up by a kangaroo. I wish I was joking, but I'm almost positive he almost got jumped by a kangaroo. I don't know if Bronco's still here. Maybe he can confirm or deny. Okay. Let's save the upload. I'm uploading it on my Google Drive. Looks like it's almost done. But yeah, I think he almost got jumped by a kangaroo. I'm not even kidding. I'm not even kidding. I'm almost positive he got jumped by a kangaroo once. Because I told him, "Oh, I think kangaroos are cute," and I think he told me, "No, they're not." Okay. I'm like, "Okay, Bronca." So I don't know. I don't know. Are kangaroos cute? Be able to find out. Um, okay, so I got a couple of these photos here that I will be demonstrating to y'all what I was talking about when I said that the church was beautiful. The helium. Okay. Do. Okay, perfect. Okay, perfect. All right. Mashallah. Inshallah, or whatever the Muslims say. I don't know what the Muslims say. I don't know how to use their proper terminology. Inshallah. Okay, perfect. Yeah. All right. And let's see. Oh, and then the outside of this church was so cute. They have like these things. It's like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's beautiful. So let me show y'all. Okay, so this was the Red Rose are on steroids. We have the craze. Oh yes. Okay. Oh, bye, Christina. I love you, girl. You wouldn't dare me to go to Australia. The male ones are jacked. My 4-year-old eats from jar. It's nice. Oh boy. Be careful. Yeah, the bloody root came out of nowhere. Mo kangaroos. Oh, red roos are on steroids. We have the greatest. Oh my gosh. I can't imagine now. But anyways, let's see. So we got this. So let me show y'all. Look at my big head. Okay. All right. So I'm pulling up multiple photos, so it's gonna take me a little bit, but it'll be worth it. I think you guys will love it. Um, uh, oh, and then oh my gosh, you guys won't believe what else we saw in this church. Like, I think you guys will be shocked, considering what that weekend was. You won't believe what we saw in this church. It's not nothing bad. I'm gonna tell you guys that right now. It's actually really good, but I was amazed. I'm pretty sure we almost cried. Okay. All right. So this is from the outside. They had the statue of the Holy Family here. Beautiful. Look at that. And then they also have St. Francis. I'm not even kidding. And then they had this. The Sacred Heart of Jesus. That's beautiful. Like, dude, what? During that weekend, literally just right after the conference, we come to this church and we see this. Beautiful. And they have a baptismal, guys. I had never seen a church that has a baptismal like that. That's beautiful. I'm assuming they go in there and then do the, I think it's a full-on dunk, yo. That's pretty cool. And look at that. From the altar. Ugh, beautiful. Jesus dies on, look at that. And then the immaculate, y'all. Look at that. Look at that, Mother Mary. Mother Mary, pray for us. Look at that. That was beautiful. And then, dude, like I'm telling y'all, like there was a lot of beauty in that church. I was really taken aback to see how beautiful that church was. Look at that. They do have a lot of on their windows. I don't know what you call it, but they do have a lot of that, and that's really beautiful. Let's see. And like they had a whole choir and everything. Um, during the Holy Qurbana, it was something else. Okay, let me see if I can take this off. And let me show you guys something else. Uh, this was at the Okay, I'm back. I don't know what happened. Yeah. All right. All right. All right. All right. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. Anyways, I don't know why that was doing that. I was trying to share y'all the beautiful photos that I had. Let me stay away, Satan. Look at that. This was their book. That was the book that we were following along. See? Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? I know, right? Yeah, that's what it is. The Order of the Ciro Malabar Cubana. Ugh, beautiful. I'm gonna go back, man. It was stunning. Stunning, I tell you. Oh, and they also had this. I don't know if I showed this. I don't think I showed this. I think I asked James what it I asked James what it meant, and I think he said it's Jesus through Mary or something like that. Um, so because I believe that is Latin. So I think he said that it's Jesus through Mary. Isn't that beautiful? We did take a picture with the priest as well, because Eric likes to take pictures with the with the priest, especially when he's visiting like these parishes and whatnot. Let me see if I have it here or not. I might have it. Maybe, maybe not, maybe yes. Um, here it is. Okay. It means Jesus son of Jesus son of Mary. I didn't know that. Anyways, you probably know your Latin better than I do, girl. All right. So let's see where's that. So I do have a picture. Let's see. I don't know where the picture went. Okay. Let me figure out where that picture went because I don't know where it went. Alrighty, so let's see. Oh, maybe not. Okay. Funsies. So it doesn't look like I'll be able to show that picture. But I will say this, it was a beautiful one. Maybe I will be able to. Um no, it's not gonna let me. Okay, fine. Well, I guess you guys aren't seeing that picture then, because it's not gonna let me. But either way, it was great. I loved it. Um, Definitely need to start visiting more different right churches, because and if you guys have never done so, I think you guys will actually like it. The priest is really nice. So yeah, so I think that was kind of my experience of the conference. I had a lot of fun. Met a lot of people. Really cool. Look at that beautiful book, man. Um, but yeah, there's definitely a lot of spiritual warfare. Definitely a lot of new things, old things, and whatnot. Um, do I wish some things would have ended up a little differently? Of course. You know. Um, it's very interesting, but I mean, at the end of the day, like I'm not even mad at the people. You know, I mean, it's just they just don't obviously. I don't know. I don't know what they were thinking, but I hope that at least what does it say? God bless her. Hi, Evie. God bless you. My younger daughter is going to go to a Russian Catholic church soon. Oh, that'll be fun. That'll be fun, Liz. That's really cool. That's really, really cool. God bless you, Evie. I hope you and your baby are doing well in your family. I pray for that little baby of yours. But yeah, definitely a very fun experience. Had my obvious ups and downs. One of the things that I was kind of expressing was that, you know, I I think that I learned a lot, and I think the Coptics are. I think out of the entire thing, I think the Coptics were just the people. I have a huge love for the Coptics, and I always will. Like I know that I already made my decision on my discernment process. I made a very clear decision on it. Um, because it doesn't matter like how beautiful maybe things will be, but obviously I think doctrinally, I just I didn't really see that this was like things for me to like convert, Um, but either way, I mean, I'm still learning. I'm still learning about my church. I'm still learning about the experience. I'm still learning what it is to be Catholic, you know? Um, I do think that I think that instead of all this fighting and whatnot online, I think that we need to focus on what can we actually learn from each other, you know? Um, Whenever I'm with the Coptics, I always feel so much love. And again, they're great at being hospitable. And that is and people don't realize this, with the way that you live your life and the way that you talk to people, the way that you treat people, it really will affect whether people want to be a part of whatever you're a part of. It really, really does it. Like for example, y'all know like we don't believe that Mormons are Christians. Okay, we don't believe that at all. But I also heard that Mormons are like some of the nicest people ever. The nicest people ever. And like people obviously bash it because of their heretical doctrine and whatnot. And cool. But it's also like you could have the wrong doctrine, but you could probably be more Christ-like, even though they obviously have a very wrong interpretation of it. But you could be more Christ-like and not even be Catholic. Like you could be more Christ-like. Like a Mormon could be more Christ-like than a Catholic. You get what I'm saying? And like that saddens me right there because it's like we are the we are like what like we are the truth, because we're apostolic, like we're the true church, but it's also like why are the people inside the church, why are we not acting like it? I'm a huge vocalist on I think that if you were going to claim to be um like a yeah like if like I think if we're going to claim to be a Christian, or whether we're a Christian, whether we're Protestant, or whether we're freaking I don't want to say Mormon because they're not Christians, but whether we're like Oriental or Eastern Orthodox or Protestant or whatever, like you have to be able to be a good representation of your church. Like even if you don't, if even if you're not doing content online, like if you are claiming to be a part of an apostolic church and yet you're acting very unchristlike, then I hate to say it, but we maybe need to reevaluate some of our issues and things. I always take something from I always take something from the Coptics, and I speak very highly about it. And people get mad because I do that, but it's also like it's true. It's true, man. Like you could be atheist and probably be, dude. An atheist could probably do a better job at being more hospitable than some of us, and that is an issue right there. That is an issue right there. Um, that is why, yeah, I take a lot from the Coptics. I really do. I really do. And I'll always have a huge love for them because, again, I always say like they were the people that were there for me when I most needed somebody. They showed up again for me. You know. Exactly. See, there you go. Participate, participate. These guys. You want to know what's crazy? Is that some of the Coptics that I know, for example, the ones from California, they have their church started a whole ministry on helping the homeless, helping feed the homeless, helping feed the people that are on the street. They do that, I think I want to say about every single day. About every single day they do it as a church. And guess what? The priest there, he even told me a lot of times the volunteers, they're not all Coptic. Some of them are atheists, some of them are Catholics, some of them are Protestant, but they're all united to help out. Like imagine building a space where it doesn't matter what denomination, whether you're a believer or not. Like imagine building a space where any and all denominations could come together just to go and actually be actually be a decent human being by feeding the homeless, by taking care. And they don't talk about like they just do it at their church. Like I think they actually go out. They actually go out and they do so. And I think, to me, I think that's beautiful. You know, we're too focused on that. We're too focused on who knows more. We need to focus on doctrine and whatnot. I think you need to focus more on your spiritual life than doctrine, if I'm being really honest with you. I think that once you get your prayer, I was told this by a brother of mine. The brother, you know what? It's crazy. The brother James from Divine Mercy Apologetics, he actually taught me this, and I actually have started to see the truth in this. He told me before you even think about apologetics or doctrine or anything like that, this is the gist of it. I'm not saying he said this word for word. The gist of it was instead of focusing on how on learning this and learning that, learning this and that, focus on your spiritual life first. Get your spiritual life in line, and then everything. Get your spiritual life in line, and then everything else will set itself in place. Get your spiritual life in line, and then everything else will fall into place. So that goes again with learning, doctrine, and beliefs and all that stuff. But first, the first thing should be your spiritual life. That's what he told me. Because I remember there was at one point where I wanted to learn everything, and I used to get so overwhelmed by it and stuff until he sat me down and he told me, get your spiritual life in line first before you decide on anything else. Freaking Bronco, I can't with you. I'm very Christ-like. Like when I'm driving, even more Christ-like. When you get out of my way, when you see me coming, flying rosary hanging off my rearview mirror. Freaking Bronco, I can't with you, man. Thank you for the support, Bronco. By this, all men know that ye are my disciples, if ye have love one to another. That is true. That is true. It's like, and that's why I'm always going to emphasize this, and I want to make this my mission, and I want to make this not just by me just saying it, but also doing it as well. Like let's see, I've been seeing that a lot of people are so focused on apologetics. Everybody wants to, for some reason, everybody wants to do apologetics, right? Everybody wants to call themselves an apologist. Everybody wants to debate. Everybody wants to be the first one to jump onto debate, um, and refute one another and call each other heretics and whatnot. But really, I think that we need to learn how to pray first. I believe that wholeheartedly. We need to know how to pray first. Because without prayer, without the Eucharist, without Jesus, we're nothing. You can be the smartest person in the world. You can know every single church father, every single thing about church history. You can learn everything. You can know everything that the Catholic Church teaches. But if your spiritual life is trash, it's not worth it. If you're more focused on that, then that's it. And I'm talking spiritual life. Like I'm not saying that you have to share every single detail about your spiritual life online. Not everything needs to be online. Not everything needs to be online. Like make sure you're practicing. Make sure you're one thing Eric told me after my talk was like, okay, you gave a fire talk, but now it's time to start practicing what you're telling people. And I felt really clocked when you told me that, but it's true. It's true, man. It's true. Like it's just it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like you need to be more persistent in prayer. And I think that is what something that I am working on. Is I'm gonna start being more persistent with it because there was a time where like I did fall apart and I feel like I did stray away for a very long time. But it would be very hypocritical of me to come here and tell you guys all this different stuff and then me not do it. I'll just be a hypocrite. What I will start doing though, and I have been tempted and called to do so. So I live right behind a cemetery. And near the hospital as well. Near my community hospital and near a cemetery. So I'm thinking, I don't know if it'll be a good idea or not. I'm thinking that I could possibly throughout the day when I'm not like working, I could possibly go and I can maybe like do like a live stream where we pray for those souls that have passed away. Obviously, I'm not gonna be able to say everybody's name that's in that cemetery, but I'm thinking like maybe do like a rosary, like just like near, but just find like a place to sit and just like do a rosary, just to pray for their souls. Sometimes I see people go and like they leave flowers and whatnot, and that's pretty cool. But like, I wonder how many people are actually praying for those souls. Um, but also, I also don't want to be like one of those people that like they're gonna think like, what is this girl doing? She's just sitting in the middle of the cemetery. Imagine you're just driving by and you see me sitting in the middle of the cemetery with my brother. I'm just imagine how weird that'll look to be like, is she doing some sort of witchcraft? I mean, I'm not saying that the rosary is witchcraft, but like, just like, you get what I'm saying? Like, I don't want it to also look kind of weird, but like, I think maybe finding a little place and maybe just doing that, you know? I think that'll be pretty cool to do. So I don't know if you guys would be interested in seeing that. Obviously, my schedule right now for my new job is kind of wonky and it's a little weird. So I don't have a set schedule, but maybe um yeah, and so yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is like maybe kind of keep myself a little hidden where it's not like too crazy. Like maybe just like sit like in a corner or something and just start praying out loud, you know? Um and so doing also I'm not gonna put like a Mary statue and a Saint Joseph statue. Can you imagine me pulling a Mary statue and a Sis statue and everybody just be like, what the hell is she doing? I don't want to do that. But I think so that I don't get weird looks. I think it'll be nice to just sit there and just pray for those souls, you know? Um, I think it'll be cool. I was tempted to like maybe visit the hospital because I live literally so close. Like it's like a walking distance to the hospital. So I'm thinking like maybe even and this one I would not live stream, but maybe going in visiting maybe people who would who maybe don't have anybody that like has anybody to talk to. Do you get what I'm saying? Like maybe something like that. I don't know if that'll be a good idea. That ones I know might be a little difficult because I know they just don't allow anybody just in there. But I know that the cemetery stuff, I know that's what I want to do. I want to try to like pray the rosary or something. I think it'll be pretty cool, you know? Um, I think that if I live near there, I think something good has to come out of it, right? I think that'll be cool. So I don't know. I don't know what you guys think about that, but would you guys like to see that? I think that'd be interesting. And it's like literally right behind my house. Literally right behind my house. So, um, there's that. Hey, Ari, is Will going on on today after you? I think he will be doing a live stream today. I don't know what time though. He didn't tell me. He didn't tell me what time he'll be going live. Um, yeah. Oh, and I also got this from one of the churches. I don't remember which. Believe it's from that church we visited. I don't think you guys can see it. Look, it's this. It's like a. You guys can't see it. Okay, hold on. Let me take off my background. I know, guys. I don't live in this rich house. Sad. Oh, anyways, I have this. And it's oh no, it's blurry. Okay, hold on. Maybe I gotta take off my blurry. Okay, look at that. The story of Father Walter Sick. Insights from Father Mike Schmitz. And the word among us. Daily meditations for Catholics. It's Catholic mass readings and daily meditations. So it looks like it just gives me the readings for today for mass and whatnot. It's pretty cool. The gospel today is ooh, guys. Y'all know what the gospel is today? We just talked about this. Yo, this is fire. The gospel reading. Let me read this to y'all. Let's start in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Look at that. I'm gonna read this to y'all. It's really cool. This is from the Gospel Matthew. From the Gospel Matthew. This is from the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 6, verse 24 to 34. It says, I'm gonna read this to y'all. Jesus said to his disciples, no one can serve two masters. He will either hate one and love the other, or be devoted to one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and mammon. Therefore, I tell you, do not worry about your life, what you will eat or drink, or about your body, what you will wear. Is not life more than food, and the body more than clothing? Look at the birds in the sky. They do not sow or reap. They gather nothing into barns, yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are not you more important than they? Can any of you, by worrying, add a single moment to your lifespan? Why are you anxious about clothes? Learn from the way the wild flowers grow. They do not work or spin, but I tell you that not even Solomon in all his splendor was clothed like one of them. If God so clothes the grass of the field, which grows today, and is thrown into the oven tomorrow, will he not much more provide for you, O you of little faith? So do not worry and say, what are we to eat? Or what are we to drink? Or what are we to wear? All these things the pagans seek. Your heavenly Father knows that you need them all. But seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be given you besides. Do not worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow will take care of itself. Sufficient for a day is its own evil. Oof. Dang. Okay. Father, Son, the Holy Spirit. Amen. Y'all, that just clocked me. I think the Lord just clocked me by that reading. Y'all ever hear the gospel reading and then you're just like, man, that felt like that was written specifically for me. Y'all ever have that happen to you? Or like when the homily hits a little or like when the homily hits a little too much. Like y'all ever have that happen? The homily hits a little too hard and it's a little too personal. And you're just like, oh, you're like, Lord, that was a little hard, but that's how it feels sometimes. But yeah. Oh, look, you guys can see that I have the Divine Mercy. Look at that. That's my favorite one. Love that. But yeah, so I got that book. And then I also got this book under Kentucky. I haven't read it yet. So Slowing Down to the Speed of Joy, The Simple Art of Taking Back Your Life by Matthew Kelly. I heard Matthew Kelly is a really good author. I actually have never read his books. You know what's funny is look what it says back here. It says joy erupts within us when we allow an experience to touch the very depths of our souls. That cannot be rushed. It's time to slow down to the speed of joy. Okay, Matthew Kelly. You know, I tried to get this man to come on my podcast and he said no because he was too busy. I was looking kind of sad. I wanted to get him on. But yeah. Called Universalis. Very good. Really good. Has mass for every day. Bronco, I thought you were leaving. Dude. The losing Aussie. I thought you were leaving. You know, not to be a hater. But yeah, guys. So maybe you guys took something from today. But yeah, really excited. I do have a couple of new things that are coming along the way. Wow, just wow, hater. I'm just saying, bro. I thought you said you were leaving. But yeah. Anyways, guys, I think that we will end it on this note. Thank you guys for watching. And also for those who are not aware, I hate to say it, but I don't know if William told you guys, but I am no longer his editor. So there's that. I'm no longer I am no longer William's editor. I stepped down after the conference in time. So there's that. We're not in bad blood at all whatsoever. We're not like we don't have any beef or anything like that. But I think that I gave him my due diligence in working within his ministry. I think that I did everything that I could do. I mean, occasionally I'll still be helping him here and there. But yeah, there's just a lot of things that I need to do. You know, I did everything like people don't realize this. Like, I did everything for free, and I was basically like, you know, doing it because I really did love and believe in this ministry and whatnot. But I feel like we've just taken a lot. We've taken a lot of hits. Um, and there's just a lot of things that I'm just not. Um, not really comfortable with, to be honest. And so, out of my good conscience and out of my good conscience to protect myself and to protect my integrity and whatnot, I feel like I needed to step away. That is why I'm not in the WhatsApp groups anymore or anything like that. I know he wants to bring me back, um, and I know that he obviously would want me to come back as his editor. I just don't really see that happening. Um, but yeah, I have no bad blood between them. I think he's great, and I think that I mean he's still a really good friend of mine. But I think the smart choice was to step away from this ministry. I will possibly be working on another ministry very soon. I'll be helping out some people. This one will actually be paying me, which is good because you guys know that like my financial situation has been the best either. So and I've been very open about that as well. So I need something to be able to help me because like even though I have this new job right now, like jobs right now they aren't really paying the bills. Yeah. And so I need something and I know William has his own stuff that he has to pay for, taking care of his daughter and his family and whatnot. So he's not able to to give. He's not able to really pay me, to be honest. And so I couldn't do it anymore. Um, but yeah, there's just been a lot. There's been a lot that's been going on. But yeah, we don't have any beef with each other. I'm still his head moderator on this channel and whatnot. Again, I'll still be helping him here and there, with certain things and whatnot. But I know the door is open for me to come back. Again, I just don't really see that happening. I want to try to focus on my channel. I want to try to do what I can do, to help build myself up. Um, yeah, there's a lot more things that I wish I could say, but I think that out of respect for everybody, I think I'm gonna keep quiet about certain things. But yeah, I'm no longer his editor anymore. So you'll still see me occasionally over there and whatnot. Doesn't mean that I won't collaborate with him. Still love him very dearly. Um, so yeah, we've talked things out. I said what I needed to say. He said what he needed to say, and still good from there. But yeah, a lot of times, and it does hurt because, again, I feel like I've poured a lot out of myself, but also that also caused me to not focus on this channel as much as I wanted to focus on. I've been kind of so distracted with his ministry, with planning certain things, booking certain things, working on certain even though I don't really post on there. We haven't really posted any videos or new clips or anything. But I've been really working on setting up certain things for him and whatnot. So it takes a lot of time. It really, really it is very, very time consuming. Um, but I just can't do it, man. You know? Um, but yeah. So but other than that, definitely I'll pray for you guys. Pray for me. Pray for my family member that passed away. It's still not easy. Pray for his soul. May the Lord have mercy on him. If you guys are aware of my testimony, like I said, he was a huge part of it. Um, because I mentioned earlier that like I found out that he passed away when I was on my way to the conference. And it was really hard for me because I was going to speak about him at the conference, and I did. And I did mention that he passed away. This was the same person that abused me as a child. So that essayed me as a child. So it was a very hard topic. Um, so I'm still healing through some of those things. Um, but yeah. And again, there's a lot of things that happened at the Kentucky conference that I'm not necessarily going to speak about, but I do know that I had a huge part in it, obviously. Some people thought I was a little too much. Some people spoke about me. Um, some people were sick of me, and that's understandable. But like I always said, everybody handles grief Everybody handles grief differently. We need to learn to be a little more compassionate when people are grieving and when they're going through so much, instead of just outright judging them, instead of outright just judging them or just assuming that they're just trying to be dramatic or cause problems. In a weekend where I needed in a weekend and this is not to bash anybody, but in a weekend where I needed support, not being told that I need to change certain things about myself, not being told that I needed to toughen up or that I needed to do this or I needed to do that. I didn't need that. And that is unfortunately that is what I got. But instead what I needed was just somebody to just sit with me. I didn't get that weekend. Um and even still, like the very same people, like it's not like they're checking up on me now and like saying like, "Oh, how are you on this and that?" Like it's whatever. But and also comparing people's situations is not good either. Like please don't ever do that. If somebody's in a moment of grieving, don't compare somebody's situation to another person's situation. Like it's not appropriate. Like this was my first conference ever. Um I'm not disappointed in it, but also I do wish that it was slightly better and I do wish I would have handled certain things better as well on my part and on my end. Um but yeah, there's just I think after this conference I've started to see that there are probably going to be people that I won't be associating myself anymore with, or just people that it's very interesting when you go through certain things. You start to realize like who um like, and I don't think they meant to maliciously, but it's just there's people that just don't know how to they just don't know how to act. They don't know how to comfort people, and because they're older than me, they think that they can just tell me, hey, this and that, but that's not the way that we handle grief. But again, I want to shout out the Coptics. They were very sweet and understanding, and I felt a lot of love and support from them. Um, yeah, some people don't have that, Gary. Unfortunately, some people do not have people skills. Iron and Sense, and if he would come on your show, I tried Jesus and whatnot, but he's never responded back to me, so I don't know about that. I think that's probably a lost cause for Jesus and whatnot. I've tried to get him on my show before. Um, Iron and Sense, I'll have to check out and see. I know I do have some more people that will be coming on my show very soon. I'm actually going to get a hold of that priest that I met at Kentucky, and I'm probably going to try to get him on my show soon, so he can talk about his right of the Catholic Church to speak about it and whatnot. I think that'd be kind of cool. I'm also going to be moderating more debates. We have several that are going to be lined up. Alex will be debating soon. What's the reason? Thank you, Gary. Alex will be debating soon. I'm really excited for that. And I'm also going to be hosting, I think, at least two debates. I think there's going to be one with Kelly Powers, between Alex and Kelly Powers, and between Muslim Daniel and Alex. And then I'm also going to do, I'm working on setting a either debate or dialogue between Kelly and William. So we'll see how that one goes. And Minnie, my friend. I love Matt Fred, man. Matt Fred is the goat. He's the goated one. Love Matt Fred. Um, but yeah, so that's just news for me. But I will continue to update you guys on the things that I will do. Um, and just keep updating and keep doing what I need to do. Yeah. And again, this is not to bash anybody whatsoever. It's just my personal opinions, my personal thoughts. I hope you guys like seeing the pictures of the relics and whatnot. That's pretty cool. So thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys for your support. Continue to pray for me. Continue to pray for this podcast. I've said this before. I don't consider this a ministry. This is just something that I do for fun. Podcasting is something that I do for fun on the side, and I do love it. And if this ever becomes a full-time thing, I would love that. But I think I still have a lot more that I need to work with when it comes to that. So yeah, so we'll see, guys. We'll see how it goes. So yeah, stay updated. I will keep you guys updated when I do new guests and whatnot. So yeah, and then Orthodox Philip, we definitely need to set something up because I want to have you back on to talk about Eastern Orthodoxy. And Liz, yeah, I'm looking forward to the. Yeah, I am too. Orthodox Philip, we definitely need to set up a date too, to like get you back on to talk about Eastern Orthodoxy. I think that'll be fun to do. To talk about Eastern Orthodox. I mean, you're literally. I consider you an apologist, so I think it'll be really interesting. And plus, you're not like other EOs, you know. get get with. I don't know about that, man. I don't even think he's in agreement with our canon, right? I don't know. I don't know much about. I don't know much about the Orthodox canon, to be honest. I actually was talking to William about that. I might have him back on again, but I want to do like a discussion. Maybe do like a discussion or do like a debate. So I already had him on to debate. I already had him on to debate William. So maybe. Hmm. Maybe I'll get I don't know. I don't know. I'll set up another discussion. I want to set up no. I want to set up another debate, like another impromptu debate or discussion. So we'll see. But yeah, I hope to have Toronto Bible Study on again. I would love to get him on. He was very, very respectful. I actually quite like the guy. Um, very respectful and very kind. And the man was killing it with his outfit. I told William he needed to step up on it because the guy showed up in a whole suit and tie, and William was just with his black tee. Know this, I will not have Carlos on. I don't like Carlos. Carlitos can leave. He is doing a serious. He's a smart guy. Did a vent chart. Mm. Doing a serious? A serious, you mean? Oh. Are you talking about Jesus and whatnot? Or are you talking about Orthodox Philip? I don't know. I love, yeah. Listen, listen, I'm gonna just say this right now. There's only two Eastern Orthodox that I actually like. That's Orthodox Philip, and that's Father Nazari. Go. There you go. Father Nazari and Orthodox Philip. Those are the only two. Those are the only two Eastern Orthodox that does not bash Catholics, and therefore they have my respects. Even though they can disagree with us, they have my respects. I've never seen Orthodox Philip bash anybody at all, except when he came at Deacon Renette for calling Nicaea tuna stories. I was yeah. That was interesting. If y'all have not seen that, that was funny. I mean, that was kind of funny. I shouldn't be laughing because that is disrespectful, but like that was disrespectful, the comment that he made. Not Orthodox Philip, but Deacon Renette. That was very disrespectful. But yeah. But hey, I'm glad Orthodox Philip clocked him on that. Nicaea too is not Nestorius, guys. Let's just make that very clear. But anyways, guys, I will leave now. I don't know what time William's planning on going live today. But that will probably be much later. But yeah. Anyways, guys, thank you guys so much. God bless. Pray for me. I'll pray for you. Don't be a hater. Don't be Liz. You know. Don't be a Bronca. Don't be Australian. Just a reminder, Australians lost. Sorry, not sorry, Bronca. I would hate to be part of a losing team, you know? And we did that without cheating. They did it without cheating. Imagine losing. But anyways. All right, guys. God bless.
And as long as I am in the world, I am the light of the world.